Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Dana here. Today I am officially starting my Halloween series. I'm so excited. So I'm going to be using some products that you wouldn't think Halloween, and I'm going to turn them into a Halloween card. To start off the background, I'm going to use this BetterPress plate from Spellbinders. This collection was made by Yana, and it's the poppy background. It also comes with a stencil set, which we'll be using today, and then a die set, which I will not be using today, but I do recommend checking that out. It's fabulous. Today, to ink up my plate, I'm going to be using the Distress Black Soot Archival ink. Only reason for that is because I only have the little ink cube of the BetterPress black ink, and I'm not trying to ink up this entire plate with a little cube. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Archival. Now this is also made by Ranger. It's not been confirmed from what I'm aware that the BetterPress ink and the Archival ink are the same, but my money goes to they're at least similar. So it'll give you a similar result. Still same thing, you know, you want to use the special cleaner to clean it off. As you saw here, I didn't clean my plate the last time I used this plate, and I'm not really that worried about it. I'm using the same ink, so not a big deal. Okay, I think we're pretty good and inked up there. Now, if I miss some spots, that's a great thing about making a Halloween card. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then I just taped a piece of Hammermill cardstock to the top plate there, and again, it's just a full sheet cut in half, and then I'll cut it down later once everything gets pressed. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Platinum 6. Okay, let's see what we got here. Not bad, not bad. Little bit splotchy there. Again, not worried about it. And I'm just going to move this to the side. I will clean off my plate later. And because this is a slower drying ink, I'm just going to go ahead and hit it with my heat tool a little bit, because we are going to be stenciling this. So I don't want any of the black ink to smear into the design. Is this overkill? Probably. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. That's a trick too with heating paper. If you heat both sides, it doesn't warp as bad on you. Alrighty. And I'll go ahead and trim this out with my favorite trimmer of all time. This is the Decal trimmer from Tonic and Tim Holtz. That one got a little wonky. Then I'll go ahead and put this down on my very well loved grip mat from Waffle Flower. Okay, and here's the stencil set. I used this, so they're probably out of order now. Okay, this is the first one. So I'm just going to line this up to the nearest ish. Okay, that looks relatively lined up there. And I will be coloring these, or coloring this rather, with my Distress inks. I'm going to start out with some Dusty Concord. And to clean off my brush, I'm just going to rub it on a bit of paper towel here. This is Villainous Potion on it, so don't want it that dark yet. We will be switching back and forth between the two. Okay, I think that's good. And then to stencil this in, I'm going to start kind of at the base of the petal and then kind of feather it up. And I'm going to start on the stencil and just go in circles. You want to kind of be light-handed with this because you can always add more ink, but it's very hard to take it away. And I just kind of move my grip mat to make it a little bit easier so that I can feather it up into the way the petal is growing, so to speak. That's why I keep it just on the plastic so that I can move it around. Because I'm more concerned about it holding my paper and the stencil versus it being stuck down to my work surface. And for these little bits on the corner here, it's kind of hard to tell which way it's growing, so I just kind of filled it in. And if you wanted, you could always just do these a solid color, and then you don't really have to worry about which way the flower's growing. And you could do it darker to light, so you could pull it in reverse so the top of the petals are going to be darker than the base of the petals. Really, however you wanted to do it. Okay, that's it for stencil number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and clean off this stencil. Now, when I first started using stencils like this, I would put them in a container of water, wash them, you know, that whole song and dance. But I learned a trick, and I can't remember if it was Kathy Zilski or Jennifer McGuire, one of the two. They both do this. But you just spray it with some alcohol, rub it down with a paper towel, and you're good to go. There we go. Clean stencil. Don't have to worry about putting it in the drying rack or nothing. And then this spray bottle that I use, this is just the continuous spray bottle from Spellbinders. I use that for my alcohol. Let's grab stencil 2 here and line it up to the nearest-ish. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to switch to Villainous Potion. Just clean off my brush a little bit here. Since I'm going into a darker color, it's not really that big a deal, but I don't know, I worry about contaminating my inks probably a little bit too much. So we're just going to go in, do the same thing, start on the stencil, and feather up. And for the third layer, I'm going to move back to Dusty Concord. And for the leaves, I'm going to use Twisted Citron, and I'll do the same thing on the leaves, start at the bottom and then feather up. Now for this one, you want to be careful because there's this little bit right here that's not attached at this end. So if you get too crazy, you'll move that and then you won't have that stem detail right there, which is fine. Nobody will probably ever notice except for you. And then for the stems, I'm going to use peeled paint. There's only a few stems and I'm not really worried about it being feathered, so I'm just going to go in and kind of haphazardly add color. And then for the flower centers, I'm just going to go in and do Villainous Potion again. And again, for these, I'm not really worried about it being feathered or anything. I'm just going to add some color. And now the big final reveal. So fun. Admittedly, I wasn't really a fan of stencil sets like this when I first came back to the world of paper crafting, but I've started enjoying them. I've found a love for them. Okay. Now just to add a bit more dimension around the edge and kind of fill in some of the white spots here, I'm just going to go in and ink around the edge with my Villainous Potion, but I'm going to skip the edges with the leaves just because I don't want to have mud in those sections. And this just kind of gives it that vignette look, so it draws your eye more towards the center. Okay, now that itself, gorgeous background. Slap a sentiment on there and you're good to go. But we are going to Halloween this up and take it to the next level. And how we are going to do that is we're actually going to kind of sort of BetterPress it twice, but we're going to Gilmmer this BetterPress, the spiderweb background BetterPress, on top, and we're going to use the silver satin foil that came in the set. I believe Spellbinders has it separately now. If they do, I'll link both sets down below, but this is out of the variety pack, and it's called the Satin Metallic variety pack, and I'm going to use the silvery one. While my Gilmmer is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and put my book fold sandwich together. Now for this, if you have the cutter from Spellbinders, you can absolutely use it. That just helps you keep your edges a little bit straighter. I don't worry about it that much. Okay, so for whether you're glimmering on a BetterPress plate or a Gilmmer plate, to build your sandwich, you always want to have the pretty side touching the plate, and then your paper will go on top of that. Just think of it like the not so pretty side is like the glue, and then you want this side showing, so you want to do it in reverse. And the easiest way that I've found to do that is actually to just tape your paper to your press plate as I throw my tape across my desk. Okay, so I'm just gonna line this up-ish, put a piece of tape across the top, and then fold it on the back of the plate, and then that's gonna create your hinge. And then put your foil on so the pretty side is down. And you wanna make sure that you kind of go over the edge, since I'm going to be glimmering the full background here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this glimmered. And now my favorite part of foiling, time for the reveal. Oh. I mean, come on. Is that just not Halloween yumminess? Oh, I love this so much. I'm probably going to be doing this a lot this season. And probably for Christmas too. Now with your excess, save this, because you can glimmer that onto like a piece of black cardstock and make a fun, different spidery background. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside and we'll work on the bits and pieces here. For the focal image of this card, I cut out this witch in heels out of some black cardstock. This was also part of the August release. She also comes with a separate hat and a little cute little jack-o'-lantern purse, and then some shoes so you can add some different colors, but I just wanted to do a silhouette, but we are going to zhuzh it up a little bit, and I'm going to do that by using some solar paste. This is the purple one. This is Royal Flush. And this is just a dome foam applicator. So to apply this, I'm just gonna put a little bit on my craft sheet here. And I just got it out of the pot with my finger. I don't mind my fingers getting messy. And then I'm just gonna tap a little bit on and then kind of tap the excess off. And I'm just gonna go in and pounce along the edge here. Now, if you don't have the dome foam, you can always go in and do this with your finger. Or a makeup sponge, or anything that you have. Get her feet a little bit there and a little bit bottom of her dress. Then I'm just going to kind of feather it out just a tad bit more, just to soften that edge. And you'll be able to tell when this is starting to dry, because it gets sticky as it dries. And there we go. Look at the shine and shimmer on that. Ooh, so fun. I'm going to close my paste back up so it doesn't dry out, because in Colorado things dry out very quickly. And this is just some press and seal that I have on the top. And then these foams you can wash. I just hand wash mine in the sink. And grab a baby wipe, clean up my desk here. And we'll set this aside to dry and we'll work on some more parts. Create a moon kind of in the background for her, and I don't have a moon die, so I'm just going to go ahead and create one using the Everlasting Circles dies from Spellbinders. And I'm going to do that out of vellum. So I'm just going to cut out the circle first, and then to turn the circle into a moon, I grabbed one of the smaller circles and I'm just going to line it up to the shape that I think I want, and I'm going to tape that down. Then I'll run that through my Platinum 6. And there we go. We've created a moon with some circle dies. And I'm just going to adhere the card front to a black 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base. Make sure it's going to open properly. And this card front is a little bit bigger than my card base, so I'm just going to kind of line it up-ish. And since this is vellum, I'm just going to glue the witch on top, and I'm just going to put glue where she is. There we go. I think that'll look nice. And you could always pop her up on some foam squares if you wanted. Give it a little bit more dimension. And the sentiment I am going to pop up on some foam squares. These are the black foam squares from Simon Says Stamp. I'll just kind of line that up here-ish. There we go. Do we need some gems? I think we need just a touch of glue on here just to hold that moon down. It's going a little wonky. There we go. Do we need bling? No, I think we're good. Don't think we're going to put any bling on this one. But here is the finished card using 2 different BetterPresses, so it's a double BetterPress background. Again, thank you for joining me today. I am so excited to start this year's Halloween series. I hope you join me for the next ones. I'm going to be doing Halloween throughout the next couple of months as we, get out of Halloween and into Christmas. I'll kind of be mixing it up a little bit. But as always, please take some time to pamper your inner goddess, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.